Loyalty. We expect it from our colleagues, our friends, and even our pets. And yet, whether we like it or not, it has even crept into the everyday phrases we use. Here are the top 10. Number 10. This phrase sounds a little bit like a gym membership that you just can't cancel. It's the sort of thing a personal trainer might scream at you while you're questioning your life choices on a treadmill. That's right, we're talking about real commitment doesn't quit. Now, while this feels like an ancient Spartan proverb, the expression is largely a product from mid-20th century sports psychology and corporate motivation, where coaches and managers began to heavily push the narrative that raw talent was absolutely useless if an athlete or employee simply threw in the towel when the going got grueling. Today, we use it as the ultimate mantra for sticking to your goals. It's what you might say to yourself when you're 3 hours into a complex flat pack construction and then you realise you've got one inexplicable screw left over. Number 9. Now, I'm sure we can sympathise with this saying given today's inflation and the current price of precious metals. That's right, if you have 3 loyal friends, you should legally declare yourself a sovereign wealth fund. We're talking about a loyal friend is worth more than gold. Now, the sentiment of this phrase is incredibly ancient and echoes philosophical texts from Greek and Roman era as well as biblical proverbs. Historically, gold was the absolute standard of untouchable security and power, making it the highest possible benchmark to compare human reliability against. Today, we use it to remind ourselves that genuine connections just cannot be bought. It can apply when that good close friend of yours helps you move house on a Sunday morning without expecting anything else in return. Number 8. Now, we might be thinking this when we have that irritating colleague who just cannot keep their mouth shut. We might think to ourselves that loyalty is proven in silence. Now, the idea of this phrase is heavily rooted in monastic traditions and Stoic philosophy, where speaking unnecessarily was considered a sign of a weak mind. In medieval courts, true loyalty to a monarch wasn't shown by loudly shouting their praises, but silently keeping their most dangerous secrets locked away. The phrase continues to be used down to our day, where it essentially means discretion can be the highest form of respect. It's like trusting your best friend completely because you just know that your most embarrassing life moments are not going to be brought up in public. Number 7. Now, this phrase is associated with the fact that quality is often better than quantity in most occasions. The phrase being, better a few loyal friends than many fair-weathered ones. Now, the term fair weather traces its roots back to 18th century British maritime language, where sailors would mock ships and captains who only dared to set sail when the winds were gentle and the skies were clear, as they lacked that true grit that's required to navigate through a violent storm, which inevitably occurs. So, it's that classic reminder to value quality over quantity when it comes to your social circle, and can apply perfectly to those people who are always around when you're buying rounds at the pub, but then tend to mysteriously vanish when you're going through a crisis, such as a tough breakup. Number 6. Now, it's very easy to be a friend during good times, but have you ever seen a good friend of yours suddenly change when the going gets tough? That's right, true colours show in hard times. Now, this is another brilliant phrase born from the golden age of naval warfare, where ships would often fly false flags or colours in order to trick their enemies to avoid conflict. But when the cannons started firing, they were forced to hoist their true national flag and identify themselves in the heat of battle. In today's world, it means that a person's actual character is revealed when they're placed under immense stress. You never really know someone unless you've seen them handle a very awkward or intense situation. Number 5. There's many things we can say about dogs, such as they'll never ever ask to borrow $50 and they'll never ever judge you for your dreadful Netflix watch history. That's right, a dog is a man's best friend. Now, King Frederick of Prussia is widely credited with coining this exact phrase in 1789 when speaking affectionately about his Italian greyhound. It became widely popular in America during the 1800s, particularly during a famous Supreme Court case where a lawyer delivered a tear-jerking eulogy for a hound named Old Drum. The phrase has continued in popularity down to our day, where it celebrates the unconditional and completely irrational love between humans and their pets. It's the reason why you'll probably spend hundreds of dollars on a custom orthopedic bed for a creature that will, at the end of the day, be satisfied with sleeping on a pile of your dirty laundry. Number 4. Now, this phrase sounds like a sinister threat from a rather aggressive chiropractor, but at the end of the day, it's rather a lovely thing to have someone who always has your back. Now, the expression has purely tactical, military and combat origins. In close-quarter infantry battles, such as gladiator arenas, a warrior's blind spot was directly behind them, so survival required a trusting comrade to guard their spine from a literal backstabbing. Today, it simply means protecting and supporting someone, especially when they aren't around to defend themselves. You could certainly apply this in situations where you need to defend a colleague when a boss blames them for a mistake that wasn't actually their fault. Number 3. Now, this phrase somehow manages to make a mundane trip to the supermarket sound like a high-octane scene straight out of Mad Max. It's the saying, ride or die. The saying seems to originate from 1950s biker culture, and it refers to the absolute life and death loyalty a rider had to their motorcycle club. It was later heavily popularised in the 1990s hip-hop culture, transforming it from a biker oath to a mainstream declaration of unbreakable romantic or platonic loyalty. Today, it signifies unquestioning support for someone, no matter how ridiculous the situation might be. So, for example, your ride or die is the person who will help you launch a terribly conceived podcast without telling you that it is a bad idea. Number 2. Now, we might be mistaken with this phrase as a commentary of what happened to someone's hair on top of their head over the past decade. That's right, through thick and thin is actually an encouraging way to describe a close friend. Now, the phrase seems to have been deriven from hunting in medieval England. To chase a deer or other prey, hunters and their hounds had to relentlessly push through thick parts of the overgrown forest or the thin, sparsely wooded areas, refusing to abandon the pursuit regardless of the terrain. Today, it means enduring through wonderful times and also the rather trying times as well. It can mean staying best friends whether you are living the high life on holiday or flat broke and splitting a single packet of instant noodles. And finally, number 1. Now, this phrase could range from simply the easiest physical action to accomplish on public transport all the way through to the most profound emotional commitment in a relationship. We're talking about standing by your side. This phrase is thought to originate from ancient military shield wars, such as Roman legions, where standing side by side was the ultimate show of a united front. By occupying the same physical line, you presented a barrier that couldn't easily be broken, declaring to the world that an attack on one was an attack on all. Today, it continues to represent that unwavering public solidarity. So, if you are standing up for your partner, friend, or family member in the face of criticism, you are standing by their side to ensure that they don't have to face that difficult moment completely on their own. So there we have it, loyalty. It's been tested by pirates, hunted through medieval forests, and proven by Italian greyhounds. Which one of these phrases did you like the most? Did it make your top 10? Well, please make a comment and subscribe, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.